Hey everyone, welcome back to All Music Matters in That podcast. I'm your host, Brian. Today I welcome some special guests way out there in Scandinavia, in the Norway region. Got the boys from Agbat. How you guys doing today?
Right.
Hmm. Connection's a little off, but all right, it's all good. But I guess, how you guys doing today? What's new?
Not a thing. Life.
It's the
I
weekend.
just had a kid and I just bought a new house. So we've been very busy.
Yeah. And congratulations, they're made.
Thank you.
Okay. So, other than that, I guess, how's the band been doing? I guess, you guys been doing anything recently?
No, because I just bought a house and he just had a kid. So for the past almost 5, 6 months, we've been pretty dormant music wise. It's been kid and new house.
Basically.
Excuse me.
All right. But fair enough there too. So that's all good to hear. And which part of Norway are you guys hailing from?
The western side, we're close to Bergen. We're about an hour and 20 minutes outside of Bergen. And Norheimsund, which is on Hardanger Fjord. Yeah, it's known for the only waterfall in Norway you can walk underneath. Yeah. You get to see the backside of water. So yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I know Niagara Falls does something similar. Well, I don't know about in your case, but at least you're able to get underneath the falls, we should say, or at least behind it. So you're able to see the running water and everything. So,
Yeah, it's just the only one in Norway.
all right, fair enough. And I've always did want to get out to Scandinavia, mainly also in Norway and also in Sweden there too. And I've interviewed a good number of your Swedish brothers next door. So,
Yeah, we make fun of those guys all the time.
I guess what's the running joke?
We're like brother and sister. We end up fighting with each other, but if somebody else comes in from the outside, we're like, no, no, no. And we like band together. So, but anyway, yeah. So we appreciate the whole podcast invite. And how are you doing?
Doing good. Actually woke up not too long ago, so I'm sorry if I'm a little off my game today. So,
Yeah, that's all right.
hey. But nonetheless, I want to welcome you guys to my podcast right here and to actually the fill in the audience. And what I just learned before we jumped on here was that actually the band name is actually an acronym. So I guess you want to fill in the audience what it means?
All good band names are taken.
All right. You'll elaborate more on that in just a second or two, but I sent you guys questions here. So let's get to know you guys more, both as the musicians, but also as the individuals as well here too. So, you all ready?
Yeah.
So I guess we'll go by seniority here. So I guess who's the oldest?
Maybe me.
All right. There you go first. So introduce yourself, and then I guess tell us some of your backstory. Who are you, and how did you become a musician?
My name is Chris Knight. I'm American. I've been doing music since I was knee high to a duck, and yeah, I've been playing music pretty much my entire life. I've been in multiple bands, a couple that were almost signed, but something happened where it didn't get to the signing part, and so that all fell through. And I'm actually kind of glad we didn't get signed. But yeah, we were in a band together before we formed Agbat, called Synthrum, and we had probably an album and a half's worth of music. And then drummer decided he wanted to become a police officer, so he left the band, and we didn't have anybody to really take his spot. So that band dissolved, and it was pretty much like, hey, do you want to do something, music wise? And because he and I have kind of the same taste in music as far as like what we want to write and create. And we started January 5th of 2020, and we've been going ever since. You've, this is probably our second, third interview. Second or third. So yeah, we've had a couple interviews, but and we've had a few write-ups. Follower counts, all right, could be more, but I'm not really hung up on the followers and stuff. It's more of actually trying to create a quality music that we like, If everybody else likes it, that's a bonus, but we pretty much are writing it for us. It keeps us out of trouble. We're both married. We both have kids, and it's just a hobby, really. I mean, we have fun. We throw it there. People dig it. Hey, thank you. But I mean, we're not trying to be rock stars by any means. Yeah. So I play pretty much everything, guitar-wise, bass, percussion, or I was classically trained in piano when I was a kid. Yeah, and this guy's a killer guitar player. He's a producer. He mixes, masters, owns his own label. But I'll let him talk about that. So go ahead, Sondre.
Yeah, I started I started playing the guitar for, like 20 years ago. Was, kind of inspired by Green Day, American Idiots. I kickstarted my guitar playing career.
That was not 20 years ago.
That was 2004.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, and I really liked that music, and I started to my first guitar and started playing and learned by myself quite a bit. So, yeah, not much more about that, but
Yeah.
yeah.
We pretty much just here just create stuff. We have, guitars galore, keyboards, and we just put it all together and throw it out there. So, yeah.
Nice.
That's pretty cool. And man, I remember actually getting Green Day's American Idiot album way back in the day. So yeah, I can relate how what that is. So I can see why. That's pretty cool. And I guess was it more Billy Joe Armstrong that kind of inspired you?
Yeah. I really liked the sound of the album. Yeah.
I drank a beer with him.
Yeah, you had a beer with them.
Yeah. I lived in Northern California for about 25 years. And Billy Joe was a lot around in like the Berkeley area. I think his mom was a waitress at a restaurant in California. And he showed up at a bar in Crockett one time. Like, hey, what's going on? Drank some beers, shot the shit for a few minutes. But yeah, cool dude.
That's pretty sweet. And actually, speaking of which, I'm seeing Green Day coming up here in September, so I'm actually pretty excited to see that. So
Yeah, well, it should be at the end of September. That's when he gets woken up, right?
Yeah, that's my wake up.
well, I know the whole song too. Also, wake me up when September ends. But actually, no, I'm on the East Coast. I'm actually from the city of Pittsburgh, actually.
Yeah.
So I'm just pretty excited. So not sure what the set list is. So let us see what happens. So y'all stay tuned. You get some killer footage from that. So. I guess since we're on influences here too, I guess Chris, who would you say has been your biggest influence in terms of like all the instruments that you play?
I have so many freaking influences. It's not even funny. Seven Dust is Biggie. I grew up listening to Metallica, Pantera, the big four, so to speak. And I just kind of evolved into listening to like a lot of newer stuff that I just love the feel and the sound of it, like Silent Planet and 12 Foot Ninja. It's a shame they disbanded, but 12 Foot Ninja was a band I really dug. Bola. God, I'm blanking. Post Profit. I mean, I listen to a lot of stuff. Nothing more. It's just all kinds of different bands. But as far as like how I play, what I do, music, it's just it's taken me 20 years plus to come up with my style, I guess you could say. I've had quite a few people say that like when they hear an Agbat song, they know it's they know it's us, simply because of like my vocal styling and how I sing and what I do. And same thing with him. His styling, but we try to mix it up to where not every song sounds the same. So we're actually thinking about doing maybe a bossa nova type suit too.
I guess how would you describe the genre of your music here too? Because kind of the way you describe
Progressive
it.
metal.
Progressive metal.
Yeah, progressive metal, kind of genty, but not. We do a little growly vocal, but it's mostly melodic and but rough, I guess you could say. Yeah. So, but we harmonize together, and yeah.
So Sondre, I guess talk about the influences that kind of influenced you, because you said he's just a guitar player.
No, he's more than just a guitar player.
Outside producer. I know you said producer earlier, but I guess go ahead.
Yeah, I play a little bit of some keyboard, and yeah, I do some bass stuff, and yeah, I usually create stuff in the computer, make sounds and stuff for us, and yeah, my biggest guitar influencer was kind of Slash. So inspired my the way I play. It was a big influence in my life. I have a Gibson Les Paul, so looks kind of like his guitar, one he used. Chris grab it. So it's
Hallelujah. So,
that's my baby. Yeah. But that's not the guitar I use in Agbat. We use more like a Schecter 7-stringer.
oh, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I left my 5-string bass at home, so. And we got an 8-string Ibanez. We got a Jackson. We've got a 12-string over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got another 6-string Ibanez over there.
A lot of strings.
Lots and lots of strings to choose from.
Yeah.
We got plenty of strings to choose from. All right, that's pretty cool. And I guess speaking of which, I guess we even got a ukulele too. Look at that. And you got it all. I guess have you ever used that one in one of your songs?
No, but we might.
Actually, they'll be dressing up in those Hawaiian luau sort of outfits right there too. Be like, that whole thing. All right. It looks like you guys really do have fun, but I guess fill in the audience real quick. Who's all part of your current lineup? Is it just you two?
It's just us.
Just us.
Just us. We do everything. So it's the thing is that there's really nobody in our immediate area that wants to play what we're creating. If there was anybody in the area, they would be in Bergen, and that's like an hour and a half away. And we don't have the space, nor do we have the money to rent space. And it's just trying to find the right people to play with this type of music. I mean, we have another band that we play with that's not this type of music. And even trying to get them all together at one time to play together is almost impossible. So, yeah, we just do this now. And, yeah, it's fun.
We improvise. All right. Actually, quick question. How far are you from Oslo?
7 hours away? 7 hours away?
Yeah, 6.5.
6.5.
Oh, wow. That's a lot farther than what I thought it was. All right.
Yeah, and you're going over the mountains. So it's either by plane, or if you go by train, it has to be in the spring, summer, fall time. Because winter time, it's catch as catch can. Because if it's blizzards, there's no trains. But they do have the trains that go through to blow the snow out, but it just takes forever to do. We have a few glaciers. We actually have Fogelfana Glacier across the fjord from us. He lives in the town next to, should I say village or town? Town next to me. But but it's pretty much the same town. Like everybody knows everybody pretty much. It's like those who've lived here I've lived here for almost 10 years. So yeah, we know everybody. It was funny. There was an American that came into the where I work at, and they're all like, "Oh yeah, we're here to visit my brother. His name's Albert, and he works at the Pathorian Center." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know who he is. He works with my sister-in-law." She's like, "You shut up. You know who he is?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "We know everybody in this town, dude. Small town. There's like maybe what 3,000 people. How many people? 5,000 people? 4,000 people?
6 maybe, if counting Chris and Sondre.
Yeah, with both towns, it's probably like 6,000 people total. So.
Actually, we always would say the same thing too, because actually I played football, which American football was a lot different. I don't know if you guys have that confusion with soccer and football, but
yeah, no, I'm an American, bro. I'm a United States Navy veteran, actually. So I know football.
Oh, sorry, I thought you grew up in Norway and moved to California and then moved back to Norway.
No, I'm an American citizen. I was born in Ohio, lived in Naples, Florida, moved as a kid growing up, and then moved to California when I joined the Navy. And I was in the Navy for almost 5 years. Been literally all over the world, and ended up marrying a Norwegian woman way back when, and we ended up living in California for a few years, and then we finally moved here 10 years ago. So a little less than 10 years, about 9 years. But just bought a house on the water, so.
Was it near the ocean, or actually no closer to a lake, I guess?
It's on the fjord. There's ocean access. You can get to the ocean from where we live. But I wouldn't recommend doing it unless you have a big boat.
Actually, I was thinking do more of the kayaking. That's what I was real big into. Do more of the kayaking.
Yeah. A lot of kayaking, a lot of paddle boarding, especially in the bay where I live. It's most of the time kind of calm enough to kayak or paddleboard. On days like today, I wouldn't do it. It's been pouring rain for. Well, the thing about Bergen is that it's the most rainy city in Europe. It rains like 202 to 239 days out of the year. So it's a lot of rain.
So you guys put a rainforest to shame. So
yeah, it gets old fast, but it is what it is. I love my view.
That's kind of. And actually, I know because I was in England and Scotland not too long ago. I guess does it get real light out about like 4:30 in the morning?
Oh yeah, it does that in the spring, summer. It's very light, pretty much all day, like 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's still kind of light out. But yeah, it's just now starting to get darker as winter approaches. So we'll have maybe, at least where I live, I'll have about 6 weeks where I have no sun. But I have sun, like if I move around the town, it's, you might get a few hours of sun. And that's mainly in December, January. But when it hits February, March, April, then it starts getting lighter and lighter and lighter. And the summers are fun party time, actually.
Where you live is actually called Cold Spot.
Cold place.
Cold place.
Coldestad is the name of it, but it's cold. It is a cold fucking place. I'm sorry. Do you allow cursing on your show? I don't want to.
Yeah, it's all good. We got First Amendment rights. You still got your First Amendment rights, even over there in Norway.
Fuck yeah, America!
But all jokes aside, thank you so much for your service, nonetheless. So,
well, thank you.
And actually, where'd you travel with the Navy? I guess did you? I don't know if you saw any combat or did anything going on in the Middle East.
I was in Bahrain, Dubai, Jebel Ali, throughout the Arab Emirates. I've been over by China, Hong Kong, all throughout there. Yeah, I've been pretty much all over the place. Kenya, Africa, was there for a while. And of course, Hawaii, but that's still the United States. Australia. I've literally been all over the world. And a lot of it's
I've
water.
been everywhere, man.
We used to be a lot of water.
Do tell. Yeah. So that's why he moves to a body of water close to it, I should say. So there's something that beckoned him back to the sea or something like that. So
Well, I grew up next to water, so it's my dream has always been to own a house on the water, and now I finally own a house on the water with a boathouse, and that's rare. Like if you bought a piece of property here in where we live, you can't build a boathouse. They won't allow it. You have to basically buy a house that already has a boathouse, and those are very rare to come across. So we got very lucky.
that's always strange. You would have thought if they had the means to actually build a boathouse, you'd think, all right, just go ahead and do it. It would just be something on property taxes or something.
It's the municipality rules where we live. You have to submit, and most of the time it gets rejected because of the ecological effects of doing that, of building like by the water. A lot of the how do you say the tree huggers. They don't like that when you do that when you build next to the water. So, but yeah. Anyway, back to the music.
Yeah. Music.
Yeah.
I guess I would have said they're more the Greta Thunbergs of the municipality board or something like that. So,
Yeah.
But let's get back to music. I don't know if you told the story. I guess how'd you meet Sondre here?
Actually met him when his bass player Enda, who was playing in a band that I had just formed called FAQ2 or FAQ2. We formed, and then the singer for his band was going to school, and I said, "Hey, do you want to come in and sing for us?" And I'm like, "Okay." So we decided instead of doing their band songs that we were going to write all new songs. So that's how Syndrome came about. And we unfortunately really don't have anything online that you can hear really.
Have you got some songs?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'm not. Those sound like shit.
Sound like shit, but there are songs.
There are songs, but they sound like shit, and I wouldn't want to put my name to them because he didn't do the mixing. Somebody else did. The mix is shit.
Yeah. Yes, and
we paid for it too. I'm like, see, you know that you can mix and record better. He's like,
They just walked right outside and decided to yell the biggest "fuck." That's their
right?
thing. Yeah. I guess, Sondre, I guess what made you want to be a music producer, or is that like a side hustle?
Went to school for that shit, didn't you?
Yeah, I went to school for 1 year to learn to produce. I don't know why, but I just kind of really enjoyed good sounding music, and I wanted to learn how to do it myself. Because when I wrote songs, it kind of sounded like shit, and I want to learn how to make it sound good.
Right? Because you can, there's bands that I've heard, like in the Facebook community that we're in. There's bands that I've heard that are actually really good. It's just the recording quality and their home studio thing just completely ruins it. I'm like, dude, this would be so much better if you invested in yourself and get it recorded properly. So yeah, I hear a lot of bands that do that. It's like, you can do better. Pay somebody who knows what they're doing to do it. Fortunately, we got somebody who knows how to do it. So yeah, we're very fortunate. I'm very fortunate that he knows how to do all that shit, or else I probably wouldn't be doing this.
I wanted to be a professional producer and work with bands and stuff, but life happens, and I got a girlfriend, got a job.
You got a wife, dude.
And now I got a wife.
Wife and kids.
Now he's got a wife and a kid, yeah. So, I mean, 1 + 1 is now 2.
Right.
3, technically, but whatever. That's pretty cool. And I guess who came up with the name Agbat? All good bands are taken.
He came up with it and kind of like, hey, maybe we should try to call us Agbat. All good band names are taken. And I was like, he was kind of kidding. Like,
I was joking. I was sitting there. I was visiting my parents in Florida, and I was walking from their house to my dad's workshop, and I'm high as fuck because both my parents smoke weed, and so I'm high. And we're trying to think of a name for what we're doing. We had just written ELE, and he was in the process of mixing it when I went on vacation. And I was just all like, this sucks. I'm like, literally, all good band names are taken. I stopped and I'm like, wait a minute. And then I took the first letter of each thing and put it together. I'm like, what? He'll never go for that shit. So I sent him a fucking messenger, and he's just all like, that's actually not bad. Seriously? You like it? He's like, yeah, screw it. We're Agbat. Okay. It stuck.
Yeah.
I say I accidentally forgot about the end too. So all good band names are taken. So I'd say about the end in it, you almost forget to throw that whole thing in, the whole word into it. So I could see why. So, all right. And I guess who came up with the logo? Was that Sondre here?
No, that was me. Because I was all like, we're
The bat.
the bat.
Was that AI?
Yeah, that was AI. I went through like 5 or 6 different bats, and I'm all like, because of like Agbat bat, because my wife was like, why don't you call him the all good bat? I'm like, the all good bat. He's like, yeah. She's like, yeah, the defender of silly acronyms. Sure, why not? So we picked that guy there. That's the Agbat bot, and yeah. So it just kind of made sense to have our mascot as a bat.
All right, that's fair enough. And do you just mainly use the AI just for the artwork? I guess, do you use any other AI for anything in terms of music-wise?
Just for the artwork.
Just for the artwork. Just the artwork. We've had few people do artwork for us. I had a buddy of mine, Kyle, who's in Chasing Supernovas. Excuse me. I'm Drake. He did our album cover for All My Demons.
This one. Find out.
And find out we had somebody do that one for us too. But that wasn't AI. The guy actually put different stuff together. Was like, "You want this? You want that?" Like, how about do this too? And he added that to it. And so we've had a number of people help us out with both music videos, and we've had a buddy of mine who was in Skipping Stone, Jordan Carlson. He's done our last few lyric videos. Unfortunately, he's no longer with Skipping Stone. He's had to step out because of family reasons, more important life things. So, but he still does the lyric videos for us. So he might do our next one as well. We're actually looking to collaborate with a friend of a guy actually who I met when I went to Florida just recently. His name's Max, and he has a band or a project called Amistris, and he does almost the same kind of stuff that we do. So we're looking to kind of collab on something with him too, but he's been really busy with teaching because he teaches music, and so we're trying to hook up with him, and there's a few other people we're trying to hook up with to do a collab on, and it's just trying to get it done. So we have actually stuff that we're going to be putting out, but we have to wait for them to finish their parts before we can put it out. Yeah, but once we have one song, it's like almost finished, but we're waiting for him. So, and we just started back. We took a vacation for about a month and a half, this past month and a half, because and you've been trying to get with us since like March. I was like, dude, you have no idea the amount of stuff that we have going on right now that's not music related, that maybe catch us a couple months from now. And then you call back a couple months. How about now? No, it's still not good. It's still not good. So when you texted us just recently, I was like, look, dude, we need to talk to this guy. So yeah, so here we are.
I was saying my schedule kept opening up, so I was trying to make sure. Let's see how they're doing right there. He said a couple, so I always assume it's 2 months. So
Yeah. And we're still busy. I'm still doing stuff to the house. He was actually getting ready to come down and do something music wise, and then the kid started crying. He had to go take care of the kid. And I walked in. I'm like, "Hey, what you doing?" He's like, "Nothing." I'm like, "Let me guess, you got pulled away." He's like, "Yeah."
Guilty.
Yeah, some car problems.
Car issues, yeah.
Yeah.
Life shit happens.
It's just one of those things. So, all right, I can see. Then I know I'm kind of jumping ahead right here, but I guess in terms of the challenges too, and this can tie in with AI. I guess so. I know you only mainly used it for the artwork and everything too, but it seems like AI has kind of like really grown recently. Though in terms of like people like doing AI music outside of the hard work as well here too. So, what's your opinion of AI, and do you think of it as like another challenge? What you guys are facing?
I think of it as another tool to the arsenal, but I would not use AI in music. I would use AI with stuff that I'm not good at, which is like artwork. I can't do artwork for jack diddly or squat. And neither can he. So we've paid people to do artwork for us, and he's got a new kid, and I got to spot a new house. We're broke as shit, so we don't have any other recourse but to use AI for that shit because people are wanting, $100 to $300 to do a piece of art, and it's worth it. We just can't afford it, and we have to have some kind of artwork to attach to our song when it's playing on Spotify or whatever BSP you're using. So unfortunately, it's kind of a necessary evil. AI I consider to be like a tool for something that you have a hard time doing. It's a good a tool in the arsenal to accomplish something. Music-wise, we don't need AI.
We don't need AI to replace us. So
Yeah, no.
we wanna,
But of course, people are using AI to replace musicians.
yeah.
It's just it's a opposite ends of the spectrum. Like we're using music, you're using AI for artwork, and people who are doing artwork or people who are doing something are using AI to create the music for the backing of their whatever they're showing artwork or whatever video or whatever they've created because they don't have the money to pay the royalties. So yeah, it's the same.
So no hard feelings.
Yeah, no hard feelings. We get it, but everybody has it. But here's the other flip side of the coin. We're not charging people for our music, really. You can get our music anywhere, So people who are charging us $200-$300 for artwork and stuff, it's just like, yeah, wish we had it. We got to make that mortgage, and we got to go buy some formula.
I get the baby food, all that sort of stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, someone needs his beers and clothes.
Beers?
Beers.
What's wrong with beers?
No, you need money for beer.
Yeah, I need money for beer. Cognac, liquor.
I mean, technically, beer doesn't really do anything. It just kind of makes you a little bit happier if you're a happy drunk, or it makes you angry if you're an angry drunk.
It's like sex in a canoe.
I was trying to think of something with sex on a kayak, but I guess that wouldn't really work out too well. So,
sex in a canoe is pretty much fucking close to water. So,
hey, at least you can get away with it. So, all right, fair enough. And actually, one of the Mama's Maiden Studio, she actually helped me out with some of my artwork, with some of the little project I'm doing with Waiting at the Bridge and some other people as well. So, she's actually based out of Florida too. And,
nice.
I guess, have you heard about her?
Who's this?
Mama's Maiden Studio.
Yes. We follow her. We've been following her for a while now, actually, maybe a year or so. But we follow so many different bands on the Facebook, the community. We had an interview with Vox and Sticks, like what December. Back in December, we had an interview with them. And there's a lot of, I mean, I could sit and rattle off all the names, you know, Anger Overdose, History, and Bobby Kane, and freaking Steam Slicer, and Lake Effect, and just, there's so many freaking bands in the underground that are really fucking amazing. And like, we're all we have in this little community. I mean, we have to support each other, throw everybody's name out there. Dude, check these guys out. Hey, if you haven't heard me, check these guys out. And that's the only way we can do it, is just by word of mouth, you know, because we don't have the money for promotions or marketing. We suck at doing the video bit. It's just like TikTok is not a thing. We're not clever enough to come up with something catchy for people to go, hey, yes, yeah. We don't do the little dances and shit. It's about the music.
Yeah, but Chris on a boat. Be like, I'm on a boat.
Fans, yeah.
You get away with an OnlyFans. I can see that. I was thinking Sondre. I think Sondre's gonna have to volunteer. So.
Yeah, he's in better shape than I am.
Hey, but shout out to Kim, aka Mama's Main Studio. She actually made some killer artwork for me.
All right.
Okay. And this one, we can finally jump into COVID here too. So I guess, Chris, were you in Norway when COVID came around?
Yes, we actually started this band before COVID hit. We actually, March 13th, Friday, March 13th, 2020 is when we released ELE. It doesn't show up. It shows up on the YouTube as that date, but on Spotify, we had to pull it and resubmit it because of some, I don't know if it was a sound issue or what the issue was. I don't remember. But we had to wait like 3 additional weeks, you know, to put it back out after we pulled it from all the DSPs. But YouTube had it the day, Friday the 13th, 2020. And the day we released that song is when everything shut down here in Norway. It was done. And we just kind of looked at each other like, yeah, this is, we had a lyric video premiere planned down at the local pub. We were going to play it on the big screen. And we got a call from the pub like, yeah, we have to cancel because everything's closed now. We're like, this is a bad omen, huh? But we kept writing through the pandemic, and we wrote the majority of the songs between 2020 and 2022. And then took a little break, and then wrote like 3 or 4 more songs, and we put out our album February of 2023. Yeah. And then we're like, okay, let's do one more tune before we take our, because during the summertime, like July, June, like normally it's July, August, we all get a month off. So we take a month off and enjoy the summer, and, you know, we have festivals that come here to our town, and, you know, we have huge Big Alarm, and then there's another one that different things that happen throughout the summertime. Like they have a wooden boat festival. They have just all the Wings and Wheels was supposed to happen this weekend, but it's piss and rain, so that got canceled. But yeah, summertime we take breaks. So when we on 2023 we came up with we're like, hey, you want to do a remake? Remake of what? I don't know. Never Gonna Give You Up. So we redid Never Gonna Give You Up, and then took the summer vacation, and hardly anybody's listened to that fucking song. So we completely revamped that song too. And then we wrote 2 more songs. Then we took a break in December, and he knew he was going to be a dad, and I didn't know I was buying a house until about the time you contacted me in March. And then basically when he's like, hey, we're about to have the kid, I'm like, I'm about to buy a house. Let's take a break for a few months. So yeah, and now we're finally getting back together.
It's just timeout. We just need to take a little break here, and then let's get that.
Sometimes you just need, we took like 4 months off from each other and music, you know, our music in general. But now we're ready to get back to it, and we have no idea what the fuck we want to do now. We're like trying to bounce up. We hooked up Monday. It's like, what do you want to do? I don't know. Want to do this? What do you think of this sound? I'm like, That's all right. He's like, no, it's shit. It's shit.
So I guess
So
I was about to say, how bad was COVID like in the Norway region? Did you guys have to do a whole lot of lockdowns? And outside, I know you mentioned a couple of festivals got canceled, that sort of stuff here too. But did you guys get sick as well?
I did not get sick, fortunately. I was.
You didn't get COVID?
No, I didn't get COVID. I was freaking locked up. I was doing shit like watching shows on the pay-per-view thing. I was watched Seven Dust live in your living room. It was this October 23rd, 2020. I saw Seven Dust perform live in your living room during COVID. So, yeah. So COVID was shit. It was, yeah. That sucked.
Yeah, I guess. Sondre, how bad was COVID for you, family, and I know Chris got filled in music wise, but I guess if you want to fill in anything else in terms of music wise, go ahead.
Didn't really do much to me, like personally, because I'm more like a staying home guy, and yeah, and yeah,
We're both homebodies.
yeah. Yeah, my work didn't shut down. We kept going.
I was unemployed.
You were on, yeah,
I was unemployed like a motherfucker.
yeah, yeah. Outside of festivals and pubs and concerts shutting down, yeah,
I shut down. Everything shut down.
yeah, it really didn't impact me that much. So, yeah.
I guess all jokes aside, it's good to see you guys are doing well there, mates. So it's good to have you guys around here for the ride as well. But I guess in terms of Bergen, and I always like to ask this question because I'm curious how the music scenes have been both in the States and then around the world here too. So I guess how bad was Bergen impacted by COVID?
Yeah, all the restaurants and small business had to close.
Yeah, they had to close down.
And many went out of business.
Yeah.
And a lot of people without jobs.
Yeah, I was working for an electrical company at the time, and they had to let 3 people go. And by the time they were hiring back, I had already gotten a job as a music teacher across the fjord. And then I ended up getting offered a better job that I'm now working for the hotel in town as the maintenance for the big hotel that's in our town. So it's actually a historical hotel. It's been around since 1857. Beautiful hotel, but there's a lot of idiosyncrasies to it that if you don't know about the hotel, then yeah, it's a lot of work.
So yeah. And I guess since they started lifting restrictions and everything too, is it try to be on the up and up, or is it still kind of struggling to get back on its own feet again?
Yeah, it's everything's back to normal now. Everything kind of got back to normal after stuff started slowly opening back up again. And people are like, yeah, you don't need to wear your mask anymore.
Yeah. COVID is not any issue now. It's just a regular cold.
Yeah, I kind of got a little bit of a cold going on. I've had a little bit of a cold going on for the past couple of days.
COVID?
No, it's not COVID.
I'll say, oh God, he's got COVID. So, and, actually, I don't know. There's been some pretty bad bug going around here too. I know my dad's got it pretty bad. And he's got a real bad cough and everything too. So I'm wondering if it's something similar that Chris has.
Yeah,
so
it's a new variant that we don't know about.
clearly. Speaking of which, all right. But jokes aside and everything too. All right. It's good to see Bergen's on the up and up there too. So it would be nice to get out there one of these days because I think I mentioned earlier, I really actually did want to see a whole lot of Scandinavia because you always hear how beautiful it is outside of also people being pretty nice.
If you ever get a chance to make it out here, let us know. You can. I'll even meet you out in Bergen at the airport. I can get you a discounted room at the hotel because the hotel that I work at's a chain and gets you a friends and family discount, which is basically like $75 a night. Comes with breakfast, like a good breakfast with like bacon, sausage, eggs, anything you think of. If you want some smoked salmon, they got that too. Yeah, and you can also crash at my pad for a couple nights if you want while you're touring around. It's a very beautiful place. It's when I first came here back in the day. We'll say first time I came here was in 2003, and fell in love with the place. And then we moved back to the United States with my wife and I. She came with me back to the States. And then she's like, "Can we move back to Norway?" And I'm like, "Sure." And then, yeah, we moved back. So, been here for almost 9 years.
Hey, congrats. I do have to ask, though, how much of a culture shock was it trying to move back into it? I guess also learn the language.
The first year I lived here was probably the worst year of my life. Because, one, I didn't know anybody. I mean, I'm coming from a place where, like, when you live in a place so long, you like, if you need something, right, you got a guy. I had a guy for everything. And I was the guy that helped out if somebody needed some electrical and shit. I was like, "Hey, I need some electrical. Go call Chris." I needed, plumbing done, or I needed something. I got a guy to call. I needed cars fixed, or I needed to get a car. I knew a guy. It's just here, didn't have it. I didn't know anything. Didn't know the language. Completely different temperament of people. They don't just walk. You can't just walk up to any Norwegian and go, "Hey, how you doing?" Da, 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 da. They're gonna look at you weird. They usually, when they pass each other, it's "Hi, hi," and you keep fucking going. You don't stop and have a conversation unless you know them. The only time where it's cool to talk with people you don't know is if you're out hiking in the woods. If you're out hiking in the woods and you run into somebody who's in the woods, it's normal for you to go, "Hey, how you doing? What's going on?" But no, in Norwegian. You speak Norwegian with them, and they're like, talk for about 2-3 minutes, and then you go about your way. But just in town, unless you know them, you don't say shit to them. You just keep fucking walking.
That explains at least where I got my introverted side, actually. So.
Yeah, it's a different breed of people. Very resilient, and yeah, and they are very calm. Most of them are very, very calm. They don't have like the anger issues like you have to deal with in the United States with fucking road rage and all that bullshit. Everybody's pretty chill. But yeah, I like it. Like
the USA takes something out of their handbook, yeah.
Like if there's like a bunch of Norwegians and me in a room, I would probably be the first one to get confrontational before anybody else would, because I don't take shit from anybody. I'm just like, "The fuck did you say?" Where they would be like, "Go bra, go feet," and then later on be like,
They say it behind your back, so yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that naval blood coming back into you, that whole thing, yeah. But I'll take you up on your discount offer, but I'll have to figure out eventually when we get out to Scandinavia. So stay tuned. Okay.
Yeah. Just start at Bergen and work your way across. You can take I highly recommend the train. The plane's faster. The plane only takes you like an hour, like 50 minutes or something like that to fly from Bergen to Oslo. But the train is like a 7-hour train ride. But it's cool. They got a drink car up at the front. You can get some beers. And just, if you got to take a nap, you can take a nap.
Just enjoy the view.
Or enjoy the scenery. Yeah, it's beautiful. There's houses out there in the middle of fucking nowhere. You're like, how in the do they get there? Like, how do they get to that house that's in the middle of fucking nowhere? There's no tracks, no roads, no nothing. Just a house. And you're like, how?
I mean, you see some of those big houses you see whenever hurricanes come through and tear up Florida. So, I mean, it's probably something along those lines. Just bring a truck and just put it right in place.
It's a little bit more than that, actually.
I can imagine. Those guys are some good lumberjacks, to say the least.
Yeah, wood is. We live in a very. It's a farming community. He's trying to tell you it's not a farming community. I'm like, motherfucker. When you're in the fucking 17th of May and they're doing the parade, it's kind of like the 4th of July. It's 17th of May, and you see a line of like 52 tractors? This is a fucking farming community, motherfucker. You don't see that every day in any other town. No, it's a farming community. They got sheep and
Cows.
and apple orchards and
Goats.
A lot of fruits.
Yeah.
I'll say this was like a Norwegian redneck parade. So there we go.
Pretty much. They love their country. That's another reason why we're not really huge in our area, because we don't have a violin, we don't have an accordion, we
don't drive a tractor.
We don't drive a tractor, and our music is a little harsh for most. And there are some people in the area that love it. They're like, "This is great," but our demographic is not where we live. So it's not even in Norway. Our demographic is more like
we're a minority.
Yeah, we're a definite minority when it comes to the music thing. Like if we switched up genres and we decided to play country, we'd probably be fucking huge. But that's not what we want to play. We're not trying to be famous rock stars. We're just trying to write music and put it out, stuff that we like, that we want to hear.
I was about to say it would be the Jason Aldeans of Norway.
You know.
Yeah.
Here it in my truck. Yeah, no.
That's how it plays. I'll start with the drinking or the losing the truck or the girl. So we get too many of those already. So,
right.
So this next question is probably more for Sondre here, but Chris, if you want to fill it, go ahead. But I guess talk about the music production that you guys have. I guess what all do you use?
Everything we can. Like I used my wife's John Bay for one of our songs.
Yeah.
It's just like I'm sitting there holding it between my legs, trying to do it, slipping down as we got a mic down there and a mic up here, and it's like by the time he's finished recording it, like hit the mic, and I'm like, okay, are we good? We get it? He's like, yeah, we got it. Cool. So, but yeah, I mean, we use anything we can get our hands on. The only thing we don't have is a drum set because we don't have room for one, nor the money to buy one. So, but I mean, I play drums. I know how to play drums, but it's a lot easier just to plug it in and put it down how he hears it or how I hear it. Is we bounce stuff off of each other and go, what do you think of this? I'm like, I think we need to add another kick here and another freaking splash here or fucking some shit here. Maybe do this kind of sound or some kind of, filler to kind of, fill it up. And he comes up with stuff like, here, check this out. What do you think of this? And I'm like, fuck, dude, that's badass. How'd you do that? He goes, oh, I just did this. And he shows me the process how he did it. I'm like, dude, that's fucking cool. So,
yeah.
We both produce. He just is more, this is his. So he knows it frontwards, backwards, every little idiosyncrasies of this, that, and the other. He does the stuff that I don't know how to do, which is the mixing and the getting the sounds, properly aligned of what we want and how we want. Me, I just say, I kind of hear something that goes, dee, 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 some shit like that. He's like, oh, you mean like this? I'm like, yeah, that. So, but yeah, it's just,
yeah,
we work very well together.
we run everything in the box.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is on the computer. MIDI drums, bought a few drum plugins. We have a bass plugin.
We do have a bass.
We do have a bass.
We have a 5-string Ibanez. It's a lot easier. I mean, we could play the bass, but it sounds better just using the plug-in to put in all the guitars he does all the guitars, we trade off on keyboard, and he does most of the keyboard, but we trade all. If I hear some shit like, hey, try doing this. But a lot of his plugins, vocals, all me, all him. He does multiple harmonies, over top of the harmonies that I do, as well as the mains. All the false chording I do. Yeah. We just create music. It's kind of like, like Beethoven and Bach when they're writing shit down on the tablature. We're doing the same fucking shit. We just don't have the people to play the instruments.
Yeah, the plugins I've gotten so far, it sounds very good.
Yeah, it sounds better than what it did like 3 years ago, really.
I bought a few guitar amplifiers plugins. Sounds equal as a real guitar amp, and it's easier to. I don't have to plug the guitar in a big amplifier at home and
get the freaking speed the microphone perfect where it's supposed to be on the freaking speaker
and bug everybody in the house or the neighbors.
Right.
Just plug it in.
Yeah.
That was making fun when you were doing like the whole microphone deal. It's like just moving around all over the place. They get to the right spot. So yeah, I guess that way.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about that shit anymore. It's just plug in, boom, done. And there's a lot of people out there that kind of they go, that's not being a real musician. Like, look, motherfucker, I'm on stage. I have another project where I go on stage and I sing and I perform. And yeah, they do all the stuff old school, but this is our passion project. This is just us. And like I said earlier, we're really not trying to be fucking rock stars, dude. This is a hobby. This is fun. If I happen to have a song that makes it, cool, but I'm not trying to, I don't care. And
they would care once you saw the numbers, so, but yeah, nonetheless.
Yeah, but how to put this? When you have low expectations, if something great happens, it's a bonus.
Yeah.
I find setting my expectations low makes me feel a lot happier when I see the end results at times.
Exactly. And you get, it's like we put out a song, we put out the Never Gonna Give You Up, and there's a few people who are like, yeah, it's really cool, but our streaming numbers are shit. So nobody's really listened to it. So you spend all that time remaking somebody else's song, and they feel like, I don't care. Then we put out another song, and that one went over 1,000 within a couple months. So that was like, cool. And we put out another song, and that one really hasn't done shit. So we made a lyric video for it and put up with the numbers on the Spotify thing haven't gone like the last song did. But again, I don't really care about the streaming numbers because we're not getting paid any good money for it. And it's not about the money. It's about doing something that you enjoy. You got free time. We both create music and we both have shit in our head that the only way we can get it out there is to hook up with each other, and boom, there you go. And it's just a hobby. It's nothing more than a hobby. We're not trying to make money at it. But yeah.
That's cool. And I guess, Sondre, so what's the digital workstation that you use? I guess what's also your interfaces back there?
I use Cubase. That's my main DAW I use. So yeah, it's not on here right now.
Yeah, we got the speakers, settings, headphones, the fancy headphones.
Yeah. I got a 16-track interface, so I can record drums if we need to. So
we have all. He actually has all the mics to mic a drum set. He has all the mics for everything. But we don't need to use it anymore because people have made it so much more easy for us to just, there you go. Yeah, and it actually sounds like the real deal. So it's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I use Superior Drummer whenever I do my drum covers, and I have to say, sound quality I've always dug it too, so makes it really blend in with the song as well. So I can relate. I can see why. And I guess jumping into the next question right here, I guess. So tell us the process of how you guys create the song. So you sometimes have the lyrics written and then put the music around it, or do you normally start with a riff and then go from there?
It varies.
We mainly just hook up and just have some small ideas, try to do something on the guitar, and he has, hey, maybe do like this and that, and yeah, and I'll come back next week and see what you got. Maybe I've got some riffs played, recorded.
I'll hear the riffs,
like the scratch tracks and stuff, and he's like, hey, that's cool, let's use it. We build it from there.
Yeah, and we'll just throw it here, there, and everybody go, okay, that's the song.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll have a lyric in my head, and I'll be like, what about something like this? And they'll be like, yeah, that works. Like the whole fuck around and find out song we did. Yeah, it varies. I mean, sometimes I'll have a vocal melody in my head, and we'll try to write the music around the vocal melody. But most of the time, it's he has a riff, and I have to write the vocal melody around the riff. Or like he'll start a riff, and I'm like, "Hey, instead of going to there, try going to there." And so he'll do that, and I'm like, "Yeah, that works." And then he'll find something that's even better than that. So it varies. And
most of the time the lyrics are the last part.
Yeah, lyrics are the last part to go in, and we try to find a feel. Try to match the lyrics to the song, so to speak. It's not easy.
Yeah, I gotta say why. What were you gonna say, Sondre? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Okay.
No, it's especially when you're trying to create music where you don't want all the songs to sound the same. Most bands you hear a song and you hear like the next 5 or 6 songs and it sounds like the first song you just listened to. It's where all the songs sound alike. It's just like that's why we tried to make it to where like not every song is the same. Like there's a different feel, a different tempo, different groove, a different vocal styling, a different, whatever.
Mm.
Just to kind of make each song completely different from the last song.
Hmm.
I was gonna say, did you guys always do clean vocals, or did you try any doing screams or growls in some of your music?
Yeah, we got our last song. We did a false chord on the last song, "Ashamed."
Mm.
We did, the "fuck what you think," that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do it. I would do it for you right now, but I'm not warmed up. I would need to warm up to do that shit.
Yeah, and I don't have earplugs.
And he doesn't have earplugs. Yeah, because I'm loud as.
Yeah.
When I'm down here recording, his wife can hear the shit upstairs clear as day. She's like, "God damn, he's loud." Now that they have a kid born, we gotta wait for the kid to either be awake and preoccupied with something else so we don't scare the shit out of him.
It sounds like Sondre needs to turn one of his closets into a vocal booth.
Yeah, right.
Actually, yeah. This over here, actually, whenever I do my own vocals for my own project, this little closet over here is actually where I do it at. It's not really like soundproof or anything like that. You just walk right in, and then it's another microphone like this. This is an Audio Technica AT 100, and what to say, this one always does the trick, so I'm always happy with it. So, I mean, just improvise. It's really what you gotta do. So, and I guess for some of the lyrics in your songs too, I guess, what do you normally like to talk about in your lyrics?
Life experiences, feelings. Yeah, it's just for me. It's just life experience. It's the shit that I've gone through or shit that's going on at the moment. Like when I wrote "Unconditional Love," I wrote that about our kids. Yeah, it varies. I mean, I try to write lyrically to where it's intelligent. I'm not trying to just throw a song that has no meaning together to where, it's just like nonsense. There has to be some kind of depth within the lyrical content that it makes sense. I'm not going to write garbage. I'm not going to put out something where, I'm talking about hoes and getting money and this, that, and the other. No. Talking about ripping you apart and shitting down your throat and the depths of hell or some shit. That might be a good song. What do you think? Rip your head off, shit down your throat, depths of hell. It's a good lyric. No, but it varies. It just kind of comes. It just all depends on how the melody line. I try to find lyrics that fit the melody and the feeling of what the melody is. You know, sometimes I'll sing a melody and lyrics don't match. It's just like non-talk. And then I'll finally form maybe I'll say something or sing something in that melody that actually kind of clicks, and then I'll write around that. It varies. It depends. It's there's no structure to how I do it. It just happens. How do I explain it? It just happens. And my wife was asking, "How do you do that?" I'm like, "I don't fucking know." It just happens.
I'll say something just clicks. That's what I was doing earlier. It's like
yeah, it just happens.
I'm at one with the cosmos. There we go. It blesses me with this knowledge. Something. But all right. And actually, I was kind of thinking back to Rage Against the Machines. You know, whole thing, killing in the name of. It was always "fuck you, I won't do what you tell me." That's kind of like what one of the lyrics was from earlier that he kind of described it as. So I can say why. So that's pretty cool. About challenges. Yeah. So I know you mentioned earlier about the Facebook group I band together, which I'm sure you guys are a part of too. But what other social media are you guys on?
Instagram, X. We were on TikTok, and I ended up getting off of TikTok because I mean, I know TikTok is huge, and a lot of people are getting, you know, a lot of money and followers and everything just from being on TikTok and having those TikTok videos. But it's kind of like Facebook, where it's extremely saturated. You know, it's become extremely saturated. Everybody's trying to make money off of it. Unless you got a good gimmick or you got a good, you know, some kind of, you know, I don't want to say hook, but some kind of thing that keeps people coming back. You know, and for women, it's easy. It's you got the body and you got the whole personality and whatever. You're going to get followers because, you know, men are pigs. But for musicians, unless you're like a touring musician or you have music that's just absolutely fucking phenomenal, you're going to get lost in the shuffle. And that's kind of what happens to a lot of bands like us, that you kind of get lost in the shuffle. You kind of get, you know, swept under the carpet. And there's literally millions of bands and musicians out there trying to get somebody's attention. And it's not easy to do. It's just trying to get somebody's attention. People nowadays have the attention span of a gnat. It's, you know, they listen to 30 seconds of a song and then move on to the next one. It doesn't hook them, and it's just it's like fishing. You know, you're not always going to hook the fish.
Yeah, I can understand why. I have to admit, TikTok's been a little strange these days because I know in the U.S., I think they were suing that Chinese company. I guess they wanted to make it more American-made, to say the least, here too. But I guess is Norway doing anything with TikTok in general?
I don't know. It's not allowed to have TikTok on the government phones.
Yeah, government phones, anything that's like municipality owned or government owned, you can't have TikTok on their device.
Yeah.
But anybody else, you know, you're some kid in high school, yeah, you can have TikTok. But
yeah, that's all I think.
Yeah, I think it almost seems like Instagram and Facebook have become like the more what bands use to kind of get their music out there is the more Instagram now than Facebook, and a lot of the younger bands are using the TikTok. But the bands that have been around for a while that have, you know, tried to build up the following, like we started on Facebook, and we got to right now we're at like 5.6 thousand followers. So we're under 1,000 on Instagram, and we're under 1,000 everywhere else. But like I said, I don't get caught up on the followers. I really do not care.
That's a good thing.
It's main reason is just networking. Getting to know other bands, getting to know other music. And the main reason why I listen to other bands and other music that's up and coming is because I don't want to sound like anybody else. If I hear another band that sounds like us, that's been around longer than us, it's like, okay, dude, we need to switch something up. We need to do something different. Because I do not want to sound like any other band out there. And I know Christina from Box and Sticks, she was just like, look, I've heard a lot of goddamn bands, dude. She goes, when you hear your music, it's you. There's nobody else that sounds like you, and you don't sound like anybody else. So hearing that from her was kind of an affirming, good, happy moment for me that at least we were able to do that. At least we were able to not sound like anybody else. We can't say, oh, you guys sound like this band, or you guys sound like that band. We sound like a bunch of different fucking bands. We pick from here, and just weave it all together. And those from here to here to here to here is just the influence. Say like, okay, I kind of like what he did there, but maybe I would have done a lot different. I would have done this instead of that, and incorporated that into our music. So it kind of sounds just a smidgen like somebody else, but we made it our own. If that makes sense.
No, it does. I can see what you mean there. And I guess, would you consider that your advice to other musicians that are on band together, social media, and I guess even musicians in your neck of the woods?
Yeah, this neck of the woods is a different breed altogether, dude. The music in this area is, like I say, you're not going to find a band that sounds like us in this area of Norway. Most everybody's either playing like 80s rock, like hair metal shit, or they're playing punk rock, or they're playing country or EDM, some female-fronted EDM act. Or if it is a rock band, they throw in some shit like a saxophone in there or a violin. I think Evanescence does that shit too, but like more country style wise. So, yeah, there's nobody in this area that sounds anything remotely like us, and no one who wants to play what we're writing, which is why we're not a full band. We don't have a lot of the pool is very small. We don't have a lot of fish to choose from.
I did say your demographic is like the minority, so I mean I can see why. So I guess more Bergen would be known for knowing your style of music too. So I guess that means no.
No, there's really not any bands in Bergen. There's a few bands that are like Leprous. I think you're at Oslo though. Ribosheim, how do you pronounce their names? Yeah, they're heavier, but they're not us heavy. Like there's nobody who's in drop G tuning in our area. Everybody's either in 440 or drop D at the most. So, yeah.
All right. Well, at least we claim that. We at least got that. So at least we had something. So good job nonetheless, too. And thanks so much for sharing that as well. So, all right. So Sondre and Chris, we've reached the questions here pretty good. So here, let's jump into the phone ones. Ready?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So Chris, what would you say is currently your favorite food?
Favorite food? Steak. Steaks. I like to barbecue. I do a lot of barbecuing, a lot of smoking. Actually, the house that I just bought, the boathouse has a cold smoker in the boathouse, so I can like do fish or meats or whatever. And I need to get it back up and running. Fortunately, this guy does welding, so I have a metal door that opens up that needs fixed. So he's going to help me out with that. But yeah, I love meat.
So you got a double whammy being able to get that as well when he bought the house as well.
Love sushi. Mexican.
Yeah, me. For me, it's taco and burgers. Feel like that.
His version of taco and my version of taco are two totally completely different things.
I'm like a Norwegian taco guy.
Yeah, Norwegian tacos suck balls. Just saying.
Just saying.
Dude, you're talking to somebody that lived in California, dude. Okay, do you know some of the best Mexican food comes out of California because it's right next to Mexico, and there's a lot of Mexicans that live there.
Is that too?
I miss really good Mexican food. You have to make it ourselves, but at least I know how to make it.
I was say, what's the difference between the Norwegian, I guess, the American taco? Is there more of the vegan style?
They put corn and cucumber in their tacos. That corn and cucumber is not a taco thing, dude. I make pico de gallo, like proper pico de gallo. Sometimes I'll do shredded pork, or I'll make fish tacos with cabbage, and I'll make like what is it? Yogurt with mayo and some jalapenos. Do that with fish tacos. And then regular tacos, of course, your hamburger with the, seasoning. The seasoning mix they have here is decent. It's all right, but I have a rack of spices at my house that I'll just mix it all together and make my own, seasoning. I love doing that kind of stuff. Especially it's actually more out of necessity because you can't get it here, so you have to make it yourself. But yeah, all right. So next question.
All right. And Chris, so what would you say is currently your favorite movie?
Oh Jesus. I haven't had a chance to go see Wolverine or Deadpool Wolverine yet. I want to go see that, but I don't know if I'm going to have a chance to go see it in the theater. I might have to wait until it comes out on video. Favorite movie of all time, though, would have to be... It's a toss-up between Pool Hall Junkies and Goon.
The Goonies?
I like the Goonies, but no, Goon. It's the one that... what was his name? The Stifler character, Sean... What was his name? Yeah, him. He played a hockey player that was basically the goon that beats the crap out of the other team's goon or whatever. Great flick. Jay, can't remember his last name. He's the guy that was in How to Train Your Dragon. He was the first voice of it or whatever. He wrote the movie. Killer flick. And then Pool Hall Junkies, which has Chaz Palminteri, Christopher Walken, and the hell is that other guy's name? Rick Schroeder. He's in it, and it's basically shooting pool hustling. Great film, one of my favorites. But yeah, as far as current movies, I really don't have. I haven't really watched a lot of movies recently because I've been too busy with the house and life in general.
Do tell. All right. And actually, that's an interesting one because I never knew about that movie too. But at the same time, I should be surprised because since being from Pittsburgh and all, you deal with a lot of other teams. We have a lot of good amount of goons as well. So let's see why. I guess is hockey real big in Norway?
No, not really.
Not that big.
Football, their soccer is huge. They love their football. Rallying is pretty big. Rally racing, I love rally racing. Watching it. What else is big here? The biking, the trick bike shit, where they have to jump up onto the different poles and stuff.
All like Tour de France stuff.
Yeah, cycling is huge. You see a lot of skiing.
Yeah, ski.
Yeah, the Norwegians pop out of the womb with skis on their feet. Yeah, my daughter, she started skiing when she was 3. So yeah,
right out of the womb with a pair of skis. Yeah. So
yeah, and that's not a joke. That's true.
Right? And Sondre?
The movies. Uh, can't come up with any cool favorite movie right now.
Debbie Does Dallas does not count.
Huh?
Debbie Does Dallas does not count.
I haven't seen it. My
She
favorite.
plays fist.
Two girls and one. No,
Two girls, one cup.
that's not the one. Oh my favorite genre is sci-fi. Yeah, I like more like future stuff. Yeah, fantasy.
Dune. Dune was kind of cool. I can't wait till they came up with the last one.
Dune?
Dune.
Dune?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a cool movie. Not my favorite. But, yeah.
It's cool. I was trying to think of most recent movies that I've seen.
Yeah, I want to see the new Alien.
Yeah.
Recently came out in
Yeah.
the theater now. Hopefully that will be my favorite. But,
Yeah. That one and Deadpool Wolverine.
yeah.
I've heard good things about Wolverine and Deadpool, so I think you'll enjoy that one, to be honest. And the new Alien movie, Romulus. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
I like an interesting one, but I'll have to check it out at some point, though. I tend to like to, I'm not crazy about horror movies, to be honest, too. I like to at least enjoy it and feel the experience, that sort of thing.
I like the cheesy horror movies, like Army of Darkness, that kind of shit.
Yeah, that's it. Go ahead, Ron. Say it.
Or the one that had the semi truck with the big face on it. What the hell movie was that? It was a semi truck that had the big green goblin face on the front. Remember that one?
I'm ringing
Lawn-
bells.
It was like a lawnmowers were like chasing people and running them over.
The Jeepers Creepers?
But that was a good one too. That was good. But no, it's Maximum Overdrive. That's what it was. Yeah, that was funny. I like just those stupid, dumb horror movies.
Like a Sharknado guy?
Yeah, just like stupid, dumb freaking horror flicks. You're just all like, it's so dumb. You're just all like, yeah. Like one of my favorite movies, one of the ones is Kung Pao, Into the Fist. I fucking love that one, dude. My name is Betty.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. That'll do. So, yeah. Great choices unlisted, too. So, and if you ever do get around to watching those movies, Alien Romulus and Deadpool Wolverine, let us know in the comments and also on the socials as well. So, okay. The next question right here, and Chris, you can tell me about the terms of alcoholic drinks in Norway here, but what would you say is your favorite alcoholic drink and non-alcoholic drink, Chris?
I love cognac. I didn't start drinking cognac until I came to Norway. I was always like a Scotch guy. Jack and Coke Scotch was like my go-to drinks when I was in the States. Being I was a member of the American Legion in Canton, Massachusetts. It's the only American Legion that's on high school property. So I would walk literally like, I don't know, a quarter mile from my house across the fields to the American Legion, and it could get like double Jack and Cokes, and it was actually not double Jack and Coke, it was a Jack Coke, and that was like $2.50. I'm just like, yay! You come here, alcohol is extremely expensive. So if you do come, bring a liter of liquor if you want that, because it's expensive as shit here. Okay, just so you know. But yeah, I like my most favorite non-alcoholic is coffee. Cognac and coffee is like a mainstay for Norwegians. I've kind of adopted that. So I drink a lot of cognac and a lot of coffee and tea. I don't drink any sodas. I don't drink any. I normally don't do mixed drinks. I just either do beer or like beers with a higher alcohol content, like IPAs, or cognac. I can't really drink ciders because that screws up my stomach. But where we live is like cider country. they make a lot of apple cider and a lot of apple liqueurs and stuff. So, and Akivit is very big here. So, but yeah.
I'm a big apple cider fan, so I mean, I technically dig like the Angry Orchard drinks.
Yeah, I know. If you come here, I used to live in an apple orchard, and they would be in October is when they harvest all the apples, and they make some actually really good hard cider. It's really good. I just can't drink a lot of it because it messes up my stomach. If I drink too much of it, I can have like one or two. Anything more than that, I wake up in the middle of the night with heartburn.
Right, and Sondre?
He doesn't drink.
I don't drink much alcohol, but I mainly drink beer. I like the
Make his own.
the soda with alcohol. Like Bracer.
Like White Claw. You're drinking those fucking pussy drinks.
It's good to have it in between beers with something sweet.
Yeah, I guess. They have these things like Crush with like a mango pineapple, but it's alcohol. Those are alright.
It's
like mojitos.
There's like soda with alcohol.
I like mojitos. I like what is it? The tequila sours thing. There's this Mexican place in Bergen called Poca Madre, and they make this. I can't remember because it's not tequila. It's a derivative of tequila. But they make it with this like rocky stuff.
Sour,
maybe. It's really good. Oh, my buddy sent that fucking bottle.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about that? He sent, he just texted me. I'm sorry. Okay. But my buddy who I was in the Navy with, way back when, this is like the 90s, we had bought this bottle of, it's a cream tequila or spiced tequila. And they, at the time, did not export it outside of Mexico. You could only get it in Mexico. So we were in port. I think it was either Puerto Vallarta or we were in San Diego and went to Tijuana, one of the two, I can't remember. But we bought a bottle one for each other and then one for his dad. His dad passed away like a year and a half ago. And he goes, "Hey, do you remember that bottle of tequila you were talking about? You said you really wanted, but we can't find it because they don't export." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, there's that bottle in the back of his liquor cabinet unopened. You want me to send it to you?" That bottle is over 30 years old. He just sent it to me. He's texted me yesterday when it's in the mail. I sent that with you, and I sent some hot sauce because you can't really get decent hot sauce there. So he sent me some hot sauce, and he's sending me that 30-year-old bottle of tequila. I'm like, fucking love you. So I got to send him a bottle of Akivit or some cider, local cider. I'm gonna send him a couple bottles when he gets here because I don't have his address.
I'll say that makes for an interesting story, but I was kind of the same way, but it wasn't that long, but like a bottle of Jameson was like sitting in one of my liquor cabinets. So, but actually I got a bottle of Jameson for because we do like a Christmas exchanging gifts, that whole sort of deal. It was like a little game that we actually made. I actually ended up with like a bottle of Jameson and like Helen of Troy on DVD, so it's a little bit of an odd mix up. So it was all cool, but I mean that makes for an interesting story, but great loss right there. And, it's kind of a shame. So, but it does make for an interesting story. So thanks for sharing that. All right, and great choices on the beer choices. So, and for the last of the fun questions here, Chris, I guess what would you say is currently your favorite song in the mainstream world, and then one from the indie community?
Oh Jesus! There's literally too many in the indie. I'm kind of digging on Bobby Kane right now, as far as the indie stuff, and I'm digging on Lake Effect, Wisconsin. Digging on their stuff. Steam Slice. I can't really name one song. It's just there's a bunch. Mainstream. There are so many. I'm digging on the Cost right now, and Post Profit. Silent Planet, Wage War. Falling in Reverse's new album was pretty good. Nothing More's new album was really good. Yeah, I don't have my phone, so I can't just scroll through and go. It's just because I'm using the phone to talk to you right now. But he and I listen to pretty much the same damn things, like North Lane. You thinking on them?
North Lane, yeah, really big North Lane. And yeah,
Wage War.
of course, good band. Chaos Bay.
Yeah, Chaos Bay is good. Like
Really,
them.
really good.
Resolve out of France. They're a really good band.
Architects for big guys.
Yeah, Bola.
Yeah,
He's not too much in the bowl like I am.
Spirit Box.
Spirit Box, yeah. Oh, Gore. Have you heard Gore yet?
Was one of their songs Babylon?
Yeah.
I think they came out with a new one. Yeah, I actually heard that. I thought it sounded pretty badass.
Yeah, she is freaking amazing, dude. Her vocals is just
Era.
Yeah, Era. Of course, with Carbon Stone, Lines of Loyalty, and
We listen to a lot of bands.
a lot of bands. Take the Name.
I don't have a favorite. I Prevail. It's a big favorite.
That's a big favorite. And there's millions of bands I cannot pinpoint just one favorite song. There's nothing right now that's just on repeat. Like if I do hear a song I like it, I'll have it on repeat for 5 or 6 times, maybe 10 times if I really like it, and then I'll move on to something else. And it'll end up on the playlist, and then when I'm at work, I'll be bebopping along, and I'll hear somebody, oh, this is a kick-ass tune, and add that to the playlist, But I don't really have one favorite song, not even our shit. I'm just like, I can't think of anything really off the top of my head that just is like, that's the best song in the world, because they're all really good. There's a lot of amazing music coming out.
Yeah.
And you can't, and from different artists, you can't, it's hard to pinpoint.
Like having a favorite for a couple of weeks, and then a new song comes out, and yeah, we got a new favorite.
Yeah, it varies from day to day, week to week. Like I was sending him shit. Like, you heard this one yet? He's like, yeah, I heard that one. He'll say, so you heard this one yet? Yeah, I heard that one.
Hey.
We try to discover a band before the other one does, and he'll discover one and be like, hey, check this band out. I'm like, fuck you, these guys are badass. And I'll find one, check these guys out. Oh, these guys are fucking sick. I love what they did right here. I'm like, right? It's just there's so many freaking bands, dude, that I support and follow, and I can't name. If I sat here and actually thought about it, I could probably rattle off a whole bunch of them. But when you're in the midst of something, it just blink.
All sorts of names come out at once. It's almost like the Highlander moment. That could only one. That whole deal. So, I guess Sondre, do you guys share do you have any favorites in terms of the mainstream world and any community?
Oh, it's kind of like the same for me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think I'm more into the indie community than he is. I more delve into that than he does.
I'm more like a mainstream guy.
Yeah, he's more to the mainstream or the bands that are just coming out. That like The Cost is a good example. But that guy, how do I pronounce his fucking name, the drummer. But he came out with The Cost a few months back. I was just like, God damn, this is really good. I was expecting something completely different. It ended up being mainstream kind of, as far as like the sound and everything. But they're their own thing. I really dug what they did. And then we'll hear bands that, like Kingdom Collapse and Post Profit, that are just now starting to Lines of Loyalty. Bands I've been following for the past 4 years that were in the indie community that are now coming up. I think Carbon Stone is one of those other bands that are going to be coming up here pretty quick because they are in line with somebody right now, I guess, that's in the industry. Yeah, there's tons and tons of bands. You can't name them all, but you know them just as well as I do. You know the names. an anger overdose. Freaking his theory. It's there's so many.
Yeah.
Do tell. So yeah, but yeah, I've interviewed a good number of them too, and I've been trying to get Anger Overdose to come on here too, but I guess he and the band have been pretty busy, so
Yeah, Robert's so busy a lot.
he keeps himself busy, so that's
I've
good.
talked to him. I've messaged with him quite a few times. Him and like Kyle Sass from Chasing Supernovas. I talk with him every now and again. Tyler from Take the Name. I talk to every now and again. Jordan. There's tons of people I message, I talk with, and I try to not so much. I don't say collaborate with, but bounce ideas off with. Like, hey, okay, I sent you something. You keep tell me what you think. And even like Push Profit sent me like what song was it? Karmakaze. They sent the mix 4 to me like before they even released the album, and they're like, "Hey, what do you think of this?" I'm like, "Dude, this song is fucking fire, bro. It's killer." So yeah, it's cool just to hear and get what everybody's doing something different, which is great. Yeah.
All right, good choices nonetheless there too. So thanks for all the support you do with the indie community as well. So. So, Chris and Sondre, we are down to one more question on my podcast right here. But I guess before we jump into it, did you guys have any questions for me or any final words you want to say before we jump into it?
How did you find us?
From the Band Together community.
Yeah, that's where.
Yeah, the Box and Sticks created the one that we December.
That's cool. Okay. Yeah.
I want to say it was on Facebook, but I think it was when I was like following those sorts of other bands. I think I brought like a recommendation. I think I saw that. I was like, oh, that little album cover is cool. It was Agbat, The Good Bad Behind You. I think it was when I saw that. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So I figured that overshot. So and then I kind of needed some spots to fill up at the time right there too. So that's why I reached out, be like, okay, let's see what we can do right here since it's 50-50. So that's why I reached out, and then that's what Chris was saying, like, hey, we're super busy. Get ready to probably buy a house at some point here. I don't know, doing all this and family stuff, and probably dealing with financials and anything else. So that's why we kept putting it off. But
I do appreciate you reaching out immensely. I appreciate the fact that you're taking time out of your day on a Saturday to do this. So,
it's hard during the weekday here too, and it's a 6-hour difference. So it'll be 1 o'clock in the morning by the time we do it in the evening over here. So
yeah.
Which I do have to admit, I actually did one with Fans Capped, and it was totally okay. I did during the weekday. I did like 7 o'clock. It was like 1 in the morning over there in Sweden. So they were totally cool with it. Johan Pascal, those guys are awesome dudes. So, is there anything else? I want to make sure before we jump into the last question.
I can't think of anything right now.
All right. It's going to come to him later. You just watch. It's going to come to him later. But all right. So for the last question, and Chris, you can go first. But given what COVID has done, obviously, it seems you guys have been pretty blessed. I know Norway kind of took some hits right there in the music scene, I guess, in the business world as well. But since you guys have been well, you started doing Agbat and everything here too. For those musicians and people who've been struggling, whether it was related to COVID or anything else in our lives, what sort of message of hope do you give to musicians and people out there as we try to move forward in a post-COVID world?
That's right.
I don't know how to answer that one.
The only thing I can say is do the best you can. Don't expect much, but don't do it for any monetary gain. Do it because you love doing it. If you're doing it just to try to become famous and be rich, good luck. It's probably not going to happen.
Good.
If you want your kids to be rich and have a great life, don't teach them to be musicians, because they're going to spend all their money on guitars.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah,
You can have it as a hobby and make good money on the
yeah,
side.
There's that. It's the 1%. It's the 1% of talent that people that actually make it. I've heard so many amazing bands in my lifetime, dude, that have never made it. That have never. I'm like, they've got to make. They've got to be. Dude, their music is fucking outstanding. They never go anywhere, and they end up splitting off and doing other things. You're like, but you guys were good. It doesn't matter how good you are. It doesn't matter, how talented you are. In the industry, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And if you don't know the right people to get your foot in the door, if you don't know and have the right attitude is huge. If you don't have the positive, good attitude, no one's going to want to work with you. If you're an asshole, my mom used to tell me, you're going to be cool with everybody you meet because you're going to meet the same people on the way up as you do on the way the fuck back down. So be cool at all times. Yeah. That's all I got.
I don't know if Sondre wants to throw anything else in, or it could also be along the lines of advice too. So I mean,
just make it a hobby, have fun doing it.
Yeah.
Being social with friends, the biggest go-to for me in the music creating and stuff. Just have fun with friends. Not fun alone. So.
No, it's not fun alone, and you got to know how to compromise and work with people, and not just don't be an asshole. There's no sense of being an. There's no need. Yeah.
a bunch of true prodigies. All right, so all good. All right. So Chris and Sondre, we reached my podcast right here, and boy, oh boy, did we talk for a good bit. Even though we started off a little bit rocky in the beginning there, but I'm going to blame it on your Wi-Fi.
Well, I'm using my data now, so fortunately I have unlimited data, so all good.
All right, that's good. I guess guys got any final words? Any shouts you want to give before we close? As well as what social media and streaming platforms you're all on?
We appreciate you doing this. Appreciate you reaching out, and
thank you for the interview.
Yes. And yeah, listen to more.
Listen to more Agbat. Yeah.
Check us out. We need to get our streaming numbers up, I guess. Yeah. It makes you feel good when you see the numbers go up. You're still like, yeah, people kind of like us. And then when they don't go up and they just stick there, you're like, yeah, that song kind of went over like a turd in a punch bowl. All right, next.
We got a turd in a punch bowl. Little South Park reference right there. So, all right. And just real quick, can you just list the streaming platforms and social media you guys are on?
We're as Agbat official, pretty much under everything except for TikTok. We're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, X, and I think that's pretty much it.
Streaming platform, Spotify,
We're on
Tidal,
we're on all streaming.
everything, Amazon, Google.
The Bandcamp we're not on. We're not on Bandcamp. We need to go. I've been bitching about you about getting a Bandcamp.
All right, sounds good. So to close out like this. Everyone, my guest today was Chris and Sondre. They're hailing from Norway, close to Bergen right there, but they're part of the band Agbat, aka all good band names are taken. So just go hit them up on the socials, go follow them on stream platforms and everything too. These guys are making some killer music out there. And we can thank Sondre for making the magic happen there too. So okay. And also congratulations first to Sondre and now being a dad. And then we got Chris also with his new house and boating. And I guess now even you said it was a smoker, right? In that little shack you got there with the
Yeah, it's a cold smoker, but it's like a very deep closet.
Congratulations. You can see some barbecues on that there pretty soon, but nonetheless.
Maybe come over and have some.
Hey, one of these days when I do get out there too, maybe you can whip us up something there. So, all right. So,
Definitely.
So Chris and Sondre, wish all the best going for their mates. So you stay safe because it's a crazy world out there. Rock on. And pose. Stay tuned, y'all.
Bye, Dad.